Hello guys, you asked for an update to what the best decks of the meta is, so I'm happy to deliver to see what the best decks in the meta are and what I think you should be playing right now. And as always, this wouldn't be a bunny video without me having another fun secret extra deck at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. To just go forward to that if you want to find out already. But let's go and have a little bit of a look at what the highest win rate decks in the current meta are. In the current meta, we still have Evolved Shaman as being one of the higher legend win rate decks. Nothing really has changed, but since the possibility to evolve a null into Neptulon has been hotfixed, the win rate of the deck has been going down. So right now, this is actually declining in win rate, and the new kind of super hip meta thing that everybody's playing is Triple Frost minion based DK. This deck takes an early game shell from what used to be a board centric deck and now tries to basically leverage an early game board state with the Triple Frost cards, which are Marrow Manipulator, which deals up to 5 times 2 damage depending on how many corpses you have. And now, of course, with the location, it's super easy to make more corpses. And then, of course, Frostbrim's Fury to leverage the board, freeze your opponent out of the game, and push the final bits of face damage. But this is like the highest win rate deck right now. I think there's some interesting experimentation to be done here. I personally also included Lady Death Whisperer. This is going to be my personal next experiment where I play her to try and see if she's good. There's also other people that have been running Astalor and Bran in this deck, but of course Bran and Astalor, if you look at the statistics, these aren't the super highest win rates cards. Another alternative, of course, is to run the 3 mana spell that is Howling Blast that you can run in this deck. But anyway, I'll give you a super short rundown of the deck as well, but this is the highest win rate deck kind of, and has lots of favorable matchups. The basic idea here is that Construct Quarter, the new location, is completely busted. So you want to abuse it as much as possible. So a mulligan is basically that we try to get Construct Quarter and we mulligan for it as hard as possible. The best opening that we can have is Foul Egg into coin Construct Quarters, or just Foul Egg into Construct Quarters. So the general mulligan of this deck is to just keep 1-drop or good 1-drops, which is mostly the Foul Egg, and then something else that synergizes well with it, as well as Construct Quarter. On the play, I like to keep Harbinger of Winter as well, whereas on the coin, I often want to coin out the Construct Quarters, and then Harbinger isn't that good. One neat play that you can make, and that is super effective, and you may not think about it immediately, is that you can, for example, if you're on coin or you're on play, it doesn't really matter, but let's say it's turn 2 and you're on coin, you coin out the quarters, and if you have a Horn of Winter in your hand, let's say you have Horn of Winter here, you want to play the card, you can immediately Horn of Winter for hero power, then you can just hero power like to the face, destroy your hero power, and immediately get a 4/5. This has multiple positive effects. The first one is that, of course, locations have a cooldown, so that you can use the location earlier again, and you go for a lot of board-centric tempo. This is one of the cool cards. One of the other super important board-centric cards is Tessarian, because the earlier you play it, it just deals a lot of damage and clears a lot of boards and just interacts well with a lot of what your opponents can do. So basically your mulligan is just like 1-drop and then Construct Quarter, and if you quarter, you can also keep a Horn of Winter if you think that's the best way of activating location. Nerubian Vizier can be a good keep too if you already have other good cards, but firstly you should be going for early drops like your 1-drops on play, the Bringer, and of course the Quarter, which is the glue that keeps the whole deck together. And then, of course, since that deck is becoming more popular, it has given rise to another Death Knight deck, which is also trying to abuse the location a little bit. It's Bloodless Knight. Basically, you go for 1-drops here, and for the Construct Quarter, those are basically your only mulligans. And this is like kind of the highest win rate deck. This one also plays Rivendare War Rider, which is a little bit of a meme, but of course the card gives you some like late game win potential. But most of the time you're just able to outgrind your opponent, and the better card rather than a Rivendare War Rider is to go and play Morgraine in the deck. Because this Morgraine will also finally finish your opponent, especially if you can like brand up the Battlecry of Morgraine. For the rest of the game, deal 3 damage to your opponent at the end of the turns. I will, of course, link all the deck codes in the description of the video below, as always. So this is like the Frost Decay is the new hot deck. The Blood Decay is like a good answer to it. But of course, being Blood Decay has a lot of weaknesses. It has a lot of like slower turns. And Blood Decay, in my personal opinion, isn't like the strongest deck ever. Which brings us to kind of like two more nice and interesting decks. This is a deck that is come up new again. It's Deathrattle Rogue, piloted mostly by Jumbra or made popular by Jumbra again, which of course is a deck that tries to, with sketchy information and Snowfall Guardian and the Death Battle of Scorch Illusionist, try to cheat out like Burning Blight Acolytes as 4/4s or Masked Revelers. And the idea of all of these cards is, for example, you sketchy information, so you draw your Scourge Illusionist, and if you play then your Illusionist, or you get the Death Rattle from it, into Masked Reveler, you kind of guarantee yourself to get 2/2 copies of really powerful cards. And since you get 2/2 copies of Krakatoa, it will come with the arms, or 2/2 Neptulon will also come with the arms. And these are super powerful and do a really good job of actually grabbing the board for you. So this is another really interesting deck. If you feel like that's your playstyle, this is something interesting that I can recommend as well. Also has some pretty high win rates and is something that people are looking to play in decent legend runs as well. But then again, there's of course Bunny Video, so it has a control preset here. This is a board center control preset. This is kind of similar to some of the decks that I've linked before. But the basic idea of this is to use Undying Allies as well as like Foul Egg, Mind Eater, and Plague Spreader. One of the most important cards is the Spirit Guide. If you can get Undying Allies on Spirit Guide, super good. The mulligan with this deck is basically you keep like your egg. If it's a fast matchup, you keep your Mistress, you keep your Mind Eaters, and you keep Cathedral. If it's a slow matchup, you keep like a Plague Spreader, and if it's a Shaman, you keep cards like the Lighted Burns to be able to remove their big statted minions and be able to contest them. This, of course, I will take no responsibility for the win rate because this is a little bit of a meme, especially since it has such a bad matchup into Warlock. But I've personally had some okay experiences on stream against different Death Knight decks. If you get down your Meta early, the Meta will solo carry the game against Blood Decay because you will summon it again from your Spirit Guides and again and again and again. And then you play the Zarella to shuffle one shard into your deck for every one of the Meta that has died this game. And that is basically too much for the Death Knight to handle the Blood Decay if they don't overrun you with their minions early on board. And this is like kind of the secret tip that I have here, or a secret nice deck. If Control is your playstyle, this is something that you can try out. But then, of course, there's also Blood Decay that you can try to see and farm the new Frost Decay. But if you just want to play the highest win rate deck, which is kind of straightforward and smork some people in the head, Frost Decay is your way to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll have some fun with the new Death Knight location, as it's like currently shaping up to be the most powerful card in the set. And as always, remember that you're valuable and you matter, and you have a great day.